Wow. That so that game happened. That game wow. Orioles lose 10-0 to the San Francisco Giants in a game where it went from you kind of felt like it was over after the second pitch, if I'm being real with everyone. Andrew, I don't know. I wish I knew. I wish I knew when the suffering was going to end, but I don't, and that's the issue. I wish I did. I wish I was. I wish I knew. I wish I knew when the suffering was going to end, but it doesn't look like it's anytime soon. It doesn't look like it's anytime soon. Yastrzemski home run on the second pitch of the game off Albert Suarez, and like I kind of half jokingly, mostly serious, made the comment of like, well, that's game. That's game. And, kind of joking, hoping, praying that this team would put it together offensively, although looking at that lineup, I don't know why I had much faith. But you felt like maybe okay, second pitch of the game, still a lot of ball game left. We could have called it then and the result would have been the same. Actually, I would have felt better about the game. 10-0. Orioles fall to 84-67. Playoffs, the division is just we are so far past the division at this point. I have no division that we talked about it for a while, how the Yankees were just somehow keeping the Orioles in this by just not playing well. The Yankees are finally playing better, and now it's this team is just. And Starlet, yeah, I did. And then we suffered about 3 more injuries to the bullpen. We lost Westberg. We lost Craig Kimbrel, became the worst pitcher on earth. This team is a lot different than it was in July, and they're playing like a bad baseball team the past month and a half. This is just bad. I mean, the Baltimore Orioles 84-67. I think they've fallen like 8 games. They're like 8 games under 500 since middle of July. I mean, this team is – you want to talk about collapses? This team is very, very close. Thomas, I love this. I love this energy. Second year, they also missed the playoffs. Thomas, we might be back after this, actually. Guys, Thomas just gave me real false hope that this is just part of the plan. Maybe that's the plan. But yeah, Biohack, I see you're saying it. We're going to get into the game in a second, but I feel like there's just an elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. And it is this. It's that this, and Sam's saying it's not close. They're here. They are done. Listen, I still think this team makes the playoffs. I think just numbers-wise, it's going to be hard, especially with other teams playing each other. The Orioles pretty much just have to find a way to win 4 games, and they're in the playoffs. Do I expect them to do anything in the playoffs? No. Not at all. Not at all. This screams as one and done as it gets, and I'm just going to bring him on. Kevin Ostreicher. Kevin, so that happened. And Big Town Sports, I wish I knew.
Well,
it's a collapse. It's a collapse.
Well, we have gathered here today. Thank you all for coming to the funeral of the Baltimore Orioles, 2024 to 2024. It was a good run.
That was
tough.
I
look, we've sat up here and we've said the same thing for 3.5 months about the offense. We've talked about the inconsistencies. We talked about the despair and the draining energy that this team has given us. And what do we say, Zach? I know we say this. I say this about the Ravens. We say it about the Ravens all the time. What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, Kevin.
So why are we expecting anything different? This isn't a mini slump. This isn't a oh well, they've been doing it for 2 weeks, but they've shown us who they are.
Yeah.
All right. This was the final straw. A game like this, you had an off day. What did we say? Maybe they can reset.
What are the Orioles coming off an off day? I think
It's not
we
good.
won after an off day at all this season. I feel like it's an off day, and then it's like if we get an off day, you're like, shit, okay, 0-1 to start the next series of games.
No, I wouldn't be shocked if they've won like 1 or 2. I don't know what it is, but they had an off day to reset, and we say, oh, maybe the off day will reset them. They have this maybe a moment of galvanization where it's like, yo, maybe this will spark them. And it just over and over and over again, it's the same thing. The defense is terrible. The offense is terrible. Greg Kimbrel is terrible. I mean, what are we doing here? Honestly, and, people say, oh, well, the Orioles got, this Suarez tonight. Sure, Suarez wasn't great tonight, but this starting staff has shoved more often than not with the injuries that they have had this season. And I've been on this hill for a while. This isn't anything new if you've been listening to us here. But this starting staff, the one that we all expected to have some issues because of all the injuries they were going through, they've had guy after guy after guy step up for them. And it's the offense that failed them. It's the defense that failed them. And the bullpen's had its moments. But at the end of the day, this team, why would we expect anything different? If they prove me wrong, I'd be more than happy to eat my words. I would love to eat my words on this. I'd love nothing more.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit up here and use the excuse of, well, there's still 11 games left. They can still turn it around. Even if they go on a little run, my expectations are in the gutter.
Did you know this was the worst outing of Craig Kimbrel's career?
Yeah, I hadn't allowed more than 4 runs in an appearance. I mean, again, it's just this thing of like, this is the exact. I'm actually going to look up the official definition quickly. What do I even want to look up? I can't even spell the word right.
What are you looking up?
Here we go.
Word right.
Oh, if my computer will load it, I'd love it. Here we go. The sunken cost fallacy. The phenomenon whereby a person is reluctant to abandon a strategy or course of action because they have invested heavily in it, even when it is clear that abandonment would be more beneficial. This is exactly what the Orioles are going through with Craig Kimbrel. They paid him a lot of money for 1 year. They probably promised him the closer role for the whole year. They obviously abandoned that months ago. But it's the sunken cost fallacy. They're keeping him on the roster because they don't want to abandon it. And I personally do not agree with that strategy because, like we have said, Zach, they're playing a man down in the bullpen. Mm-hmm. They're playing a man down. You can't trust Craig Kimbrel to go in there and do anything. I remember, I don't think you were on for this, but I think I told you about it on another stream. I played a game with the chat. I said, what's the least amount of runs you'd be comfortable with Craig Kimbrel?
Yeah, it was like
coming in
6.
Yeah, there were 6. There was some people said 15, but the median, like right in the middle, was 3. I up that to at least 5 now. 4, I guess, if you want to be a little nice about it.
Yeah.
I know I said that I just see them kind of going through with the sunken cost fallacy and have them on the playoff roster. I can't see it anymore. I was never on board with them on the playoff roster in the first place, but I was like, look, we've seen enough of this where it's like people have been DFA'd for less. Mm-hmm. So like, it wouldn't shock me if he was. I'd be floored if he was. And if he is on the playoff roster, it is absolute mismanagement.
Yeah. I mean, without a doubt.
You can't do it.
I mean, Kevin, how fitting is this?
And I know they have to make the playoffs first. I understand. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
I'm still in kind of just by the way the schedule works. I think the Orioles are blessed by this schedule because of like teams like the Tigers and Royals playing each other a bunch. The Yankees obviously playing the Mariners. So like the Mariners are a team trying to get back in it. The Orioles might like only win 2 like 2 more games, but find a way to still make the playoffs just because other teams have to play each other.
Yeah.
But Kevin, I want to bring this up because Mike appreciates you. So at least the Ravens are in line for the first overall pick this upcoming draft. That's all Baltimore sports fans have to cling on these days. Kevin, who has it better than us?
Everybody.
Everybody.
I mean, at this point, man, even the Orioles win wouldn't do much for me.
Appreciate it, Mike, too.
Like, how much would the Orioles win move you at this point?
None.
What? Yeah, I mean,
No,
that's what I'm saying. The Ravens have to win on Sunday for Baltimore sports fans to make that mojo come back. On a different note, how surprised were you to see Adley back in a 2 spot?
Nothing surprises me with this team anymore.
Okay, well, would you have expected to see him back in the 2 spot?
Yeah, because then I looked at the rest of the lineup. We already led off with Austin Slater, so immediately I was like, okay, we are throwing it all to the wind. I was seeing Eloy, I was seeing Levi. Like, it was just a lineup tonight of just imagine showing that lineup to somebody on opening day and be like, September 17th, middle of a pennant race. This is what the boys put out against the reigning NL Cy Young.
I feel like people would be like, oh, like
they must be so far ahead that
hey, Kobe's up and he's probably doing, like, people were saying, oh, Kobe's up, so that means he's probably doing well. And because Jackson, I know, pinch hit tonight, but like, Jackson's not in the lineup. What's going on with Jackson? Like, is he up? Like, what would that be? People would be like, who is Emmanuel Rivera?
Yeah.
Like,
what? Like, and then, I mean, the best player in the lineup tonight didn't even start. Heston Kjerstad, 2 for 2.
Crazy. Awesome. Shout out Heston. Shout out. I think that's the one up.
That's the one up.
Although, hey, Birch Smith, 2 innings, a scoreless ball. Back, Birch Fish is back on.
Okay, Kevin, dare I say, should I just go blind optimism for a second? After everything that we've said, and we all both know how we feel, this team just looks kind of doomed. Like, it's just done. But how just incredible would it be if Heston Kjerstad coming in, getting his feet under him? Like, that's a bat in the lineup. And we just need those. We just need those.
I would say good momentum for next year is what I'll say on that.
I'm not saying he saves the Orioles, but I'm saying just adding one more bat, maybe they can sneak out a playoff win. Like, we're not talking. Not saying.
Yeah, what's their magic number for the playoffs? Do you know?
It's not going to be updated completely yet because a bunch of games are still in progress.
Because did the Yankees clinch tonight?
Do they clinch the playoffs tonight? Probably.
I think that they did if they won and the Orioles lost.
Yeah, they definitely.
I think that if someone in the chat could help us out on that, I'm trying to find it. I don't know the specifics. All right, Clyde says the playoff number was 6. I guess before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the Orioles are going to find a way to just, especially with the Yankees beating the Mariners right now. Detroit and the Royals are tied 1-1.
Okay, great. Grayson's saying they clinch tomorrow with 2 wins. Okay, so I guess not tonight. Not tonight.
No.
But they're up 2-0 over the Mariners, so great.
Yeah.
How did they score? All right, my money's on Judge Homer. Oh no, it was a Judge. I can't see what it was, but it was Judge. 2 RBI.
Double.
Okay.
Remember when we were having fun hate watching the Yankees and the division was close, the Orioles were playing good ball? That was fun.
I mean, it just feels so long ago. What, they're 5 games under 500 since the All-Star break? 8 games. I can't even.
Let me look up on trusty StatMuse our record over the last So I'm going to go 75 games. That would be pretty much half of this season so far.
It's like 2.5 months. Yeah.
35-40.
Yeah, 5 games. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Look, I'm on it, man. I know the vibes.
They're 5 games under 500 over their last 75 games. Like, that's just – and it started – okay, that's actually crazy. It started with a 4-game losing streak.
Oh?
those last 75 games. So I guess in the last 71, they're only one game under 500, but still.
Yeah. Mike asking, what's your confidence level that has a manager in 2025? If they lose in the wild card round, I think he's out. Divisional round, they might make an excuse.
If he wins,
I would still
miss the playoffs. I think we both agree.
I honestly, ALDS, I still think he's done if they lose in the ALDS.
If they had swept in the ALDS,
I'm going further than that. I think maybe a competitive series.
Injury. I think he needs at this point. I'm at the point where I do think they just need to change it. I think a change needs to be made, but I'm not confident enough in Elias and them to pull the trigger because of injuries. If he makes it to the divisional round and wins a game,
I mean, I agree with you. And the only way that happens is if they use the injury excuse.
I think that's just unfortunately
we both talked about it.
Yeah, they're just going to get in the point where they're like, with injuries and everything, that they think that they're just going to give him kind of a mulligan. But I will say this: I think the seat would be hot, and you could see a potential.
But see, that's the thing where I'm just like, that wastes a whole another year, in my opinion.
No, I think I'm talking in season. I think
that's what I'm saying. I think that wastes. The
not
year.
If the guy. I mean, we're talking.
If you're firing the guy in like May or June.
Well, we're talking getting weird here, but I would not. If they have faith that they think Buck Britton is the eventual guy, anyway, I could see them giving Hyder the keeping manager, but they move Buck up onto the major league staff, and then if they need to replace Hyder, they make Buck interim. Buck Britton.
Yeah.
But that's only because I know that's someone that people have said that, and I know that they think very highly of him in the organization.
Yeah, and I mean, look, although I know we're talking a lot about Hyde, like, the issues go far beyond him. Like, this is not just this is not just the Brandon Hyde, is the sole reason the Orioles lose. Like, no, the offense is awful. These guys can't hit. Like, is Brandon Hyde hitting in the 2-hole? He's not the one that's hitting right now. I know that it all kind of falls back on the manager, and like, of course, we'll talk about that. But this is a team that has lost. Well, they've scored now 21 runs in their last 11 games. See how easy they made that for me? You just add a 0-1 and add another game. Easy math for me.
Easy math, baby.
So, it's just, it's the perfect storm of terrible, where they just look demoralized. They look checked out. And I mean, especially after an off day. I mean, man, we said it, Zach, what's the last off day of the season? It's right before that Yankees series. And at this point, it might not even matter. But like,
Yankees are going to be resting guys. So like, maybe that's just.
And I mean, at this point, like, the wild card, you're going to have, that's a grinded out series. I know it's not a uber long one or anything, but like, it's a grinded out series. You're not going 7, but like, that's tough if you make it there.
Yeah.
But first they have to make it, and the way they're look, if they play like this, they're not making the playoffs, let alone win another game. They have to. They have to get it together, and we heard the Elias updates. And, it seems like, maybe some guys are further ahead than expected. Maybe some guys aren't going to come back that maybe we did expect.
Yeah, getting Ramon back, getting Westy back, getting Mounty back are going to be big. But they're coming off injuries. So it's just it's a lottery ticket. Because they're either going to come back and it's going to be, Kevin, when players come back from injuries, I think we all know one of two things happen. They never just kind of, okay, they're playing okay, average ball. It's either they come back and they're as hot, scorching hot, in pretty much any sport. Guys come back from injury and they're either scorching hot because it's the adrenaline of being back, all that, or they are ice cold. And we're seeing 0 for 16s, 0 for 17s. Not that the offense isn't already producing that, but it's not a guarantee that these guys come back and suddenly the mojo's back, the offense is back. Westy, yes, was the best hitter with runners in scoring position, but that doesn't mean that his first day back, I need him, he's guaranteed to get the big hit when needed. It's going to take a minute.
And this is, I mean, to your point, this is exactly what I talk about with the Ravens. When I talk about them and on Locked On Ravens, I've had this conversation. So shameless plug, by the way, for Locked On Ravens, of course. But when I talk about that on Locked On Ravens, I talk about it, especially with JK, Zach. I think that's the biggest example because people expected JK off of that first injury. Remember the ACL and everything. And he came back the next year and everyone's like, okay, yeah, JK is going to be like this great running back for them. But then there were complications with the knee. And then he had to go have another surgery. And then he wasn't back. And then he wasn't really his full form. And I know that we're not talking about like ACL tears for these players or anything, but it's different for everybody. So, getting Westberg back in the lineup is a big boost. And maybe he can just turn it on like that. But I want to see that instead of placing those expectations on him. And for a lot of these other guys too, particularly the pitchers, because I know it can sometimes take a little bit to get back into the groove. And then we now know with Grayson Rodriguez, it's not looking particularly good for his timeline and a return to the starting rotation. Mike Elias saying maybe he'll pitch out of the bullpen if it gets to that point. But I think a lot of people were maybe, including us, were maybe hoping that he was going to be able to sneak back in. But seems like there has not been as much progress as anticipated.
Yeah, and we knew. We talked with Yoni as soon as it happened, and he was saying from the jump, from what he was hearing, from what, was being told to the media about kind of how bad the strain was, he said they would be lucky for him to be getting back to throwing and kind of just starting that process in 6 weeks, which goes all the way up to kind of, I would say, I think it's like in a week from now. So it's not like it's unfortunate because time's just against them. He got hurt at legitimately the timetable is when the playoffs would start. And that's kind of tough not having one. You won't have any minor league games to go rehab it with. They're going to have to send him to Sarasota down to the extended spring training and the camps down there. But besides that, he doesn't have like, you get 2 rehab starts, try to get it back, get feeling, of being back on the mound. No. He's going to be ready to throw, and if they're lucky, he can come out, like you said, and throw out of the bullpen a little bit. But this is not going to be we're handing the ball to Grayson Rodriguez game 2 and saying, okay, go be the ace.
Is Cade Povich your 5th playoff starter?
They won't use a 5th playoff starter.
That's what I was saying. Either that or they'll just go 4-man, and that'll be –
yeah, I was going to say they'll go 4-man at this point. First and foremost, because it looks obviously the wild card. You're only guaranteed 2 games, 3 in the series if you're lucky, or I guess if you don't win the first 2. So it's I would say right now it's going to be Eflin, Corbin, Suarez, and Dean.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand you. I got you.
Actually, weirdly enough, I think Dean, and people are going to disagree with this, Dean is going to be the 3 because of how he's pitched in the second half.
Over Suarez, I assume? I
think so. And that's a little bit of a bold take, I would say, but I think just because of how well Dean's pitching recently, because, since I think it's like the past 7 starts or something, he's been statistically the best pitcher. So, I think Dean would probably get the nod game 3.
Yeah, for everybody listening, the reason we're doing this is because we might not have an opportunity to actually do it come playoff time. So we want to talk about the possibility of the playoffs while we still at least know the Orioles have a chance to do
it. Kevin, I'm kind of scared too, but they're gonna.
I know if I had to predict, they'll crawl their way in, they'll limp their way in, and then they'll just get blown out. And whatever.
And once again, I'm not saying it because I have faith that this team is going to win 5 or 6 more games and get themselves in. I just don't think it's really possible with all the other teams playing each other for the Orioles. Unless they'd have to get swept by Detroit, they'd have to there's just it's really hard. They could legitimately win just 2 to 3 more games and just fall into the playoffs.
I think they will make it, but I have very low expectations.
It's by Fangraphs has a 99.1% chance. Yes, it is still possible the Orioles do not make the playoffs. there would be so many 30 for 30 ESPN 60s.
It's like that week 18 thing when like NFL teams are trying to make the playoffs, and you're like, the Ravens will miss the playoffs if like 8 teams lose and,
and like
3 teams tie.
Like people have to start tying, and they're like, a weird game has to get suspended, and they're like, but it's still possible. Like that's what's got to go down.
Yeah, and at this point, look, they're now 3.5 back pending the Yankees result, if I'm not mistaken, from the East.
So they'll be 4.
Well, we got to assume the Yankees win for that, but they are currently up, so we will see.
Kevin, let me cope.
We just cope by doing the entire playoff starting rotation before they meet.
Kevin, people might not like this.
What do you get?
If you're, because I think everyone's pretty much giving up on the division. If you are worried about the Mariners going on a run and catching the Orioles, you might be okay with that. I kind of just want either one
for the wild card.
Yeah, because the what's it called? The Mariners have a shot. The Mariners are just a half game behind Detroit. So their Mariners are 6.5 games behind us. So that
for the second wild card spot.
For the last wild card spot.
And Detroit is
6. So that's why technically I kind of want I want Kansas City to win in extras right now. I've kind of accepted we're going to Kansas City. And that's going to suck. I kind of want to get that third wild card, though, because doesn't the third wild card – oh, shit. No, that would get Houston. Never mind. I take that all completely back. I take everything back. I don't know why I thought Houston was ahead of Cleveland for some reason. I take all of that back.
Because no one knows what the way the league has been this year.
On record, I take that completely back. I'd rather go play Kansas City and just maybe reverse 2014.
Oh, reverse 2014.
Yeah, 10 years later.
Wow.
Why not? Kevin, are the Orioles going to mess around and win the World Series?
I think you saying that right now might get you a little heat. I know the number one. I know the number one phrase. I know the number one phrase that would get you the most heat, though. If you want to go tweet that out real quick on your account.
The O's are fine.
Oh, they're okay. Well, they're okay. There you go. Wow.
What if the O's just get hot?
I can sense the pain in your voice.
Oh
as you say
this,
dude. Yeah. Everybody's back, man. Everybody's in. Let's go.
What if they just get hot?
Oh man.
I feel like that's like, when pigs fly, like this is.
I wish I had like a pig figurine. I could just like
that. Kevin, I will say though, like the Orioles getting hot and like making a run at the World Series would be the funniest thing ever after this. Like if they just go and lose in the even if they lose in the ALCS, like it would be the funniest run of all time because of this historically bad just second half collapse. If they are that random team that just gets hot and like upsets because I think they would upset the Royals and then probably play the Yankees. No, Yankees would be 1 seed. Damn.
You know what my favorite trend is when, especially I think it's more so on Twitter, but when people like quote games from like 8 years ago and are like so essentially it'd be us reacting to this game and saying, Delman Young double. Like, guys, how did you feel watching the Delman Young double? And just like completely going off on like a game from 80 million years ago. So let's just do it, man. The Baltimore Orioles beat the Boston Red Sox. Robert Andino right under the glove of Carl Crawford. Man, how'd you feel after watching that game, Zach?
Actually, funny we actually when we interviewed Jonathan Papelbon, I thanked him for that game. I kind of didn't mean to, but it came out naturally, and I said thanks for that, by the way. And yeah, I did not mean to say that. Like my fan, like I was asking him about it, and then the fan in me came out mid question, and I said thanks for that, by the way. And he said, "You can thank Carl. He should have caught it." And I was like, damn. Carl Crawford.
Hey, I mean, he's not
He
wrong.
should have caught it.
Yeah, he's not.
But
He's
yeah.
not wrong.
Papelbon is a little crazy in the head, like you can tell. And when I asked him that, I was like, shit. I was like, is he about to like hurt me?
Yeah. You're gonna reach through the screen and
Yeah,
get you.
maybe all the way from Mississippi.
Well, we haven't even really talked about the game at all.
No, man. The game happened.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah, Giants are under 500. This is the team that got shut out 3 straight games. What, like less than a week ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Giants had lost 15 of their last 22 games.
They got shut out by the Brewers once last Thursday, September 12th, and then twice in their series with the Padres for putting up 3 runs. And then they just go on an offensive bender here. Oh, wait, Ed with the potential hate watch update.
Ooh. But we need the Royals, I think. Oh, wait. I need to figure out who said this quote. I just cannot find this. Rockabatko put it in the title now. I'm assuming Hyde said it.
In the
But it said,
title?
eventually it's going to go our way at some point. I don't know that.
You know Hyde said that, or you think?
Well, no, so that's a quote from in Rockabatko just posted his post-game story, and that's the quote to start it off. But he's talking about Hyde's comments for most of it, but I cannot find the official quote. So
in his art. No, I see it.
in his article.
It's Gunner, I think.
Is it Gunner?
Because he says we've been talking about it for a while, just trying to figure out a way through it. Henderson said we've done it pretty much the first 3 quarters of the year. The last one was kind of weird, just getting out of sync. It seems like we know we've done it. Eventually, it's going to go our way at some point. So I think it was Gunner.
Yeah. Oh, so it is Gunner. Also, Kevin, can we talk about this? Because I've been seeing drama about this on Orioles Twitter. Why do people care that the Orioles changed their walk-up songs? And some people took offense to it.
I know that it happened. I didn't see the drama. I just thought people people were mad because it didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's if you're upset about that, yeah, it didn't work. But I saw some people saying it's a slap in the face to the fans, and I was like, I think baseball players just do it. I think that's something the team had a meeting. I could see that team meeting being yo, we're all change your walk-up songs, change anything. I don't think it was a sarcastic thing to the fans. I saw some people talking about that, and I was like, I don't understand that. I thought if you think it's just why are they focused on that? What is that then? That's fine, but I don't think it was if you just didn't like the walk-up song changes, that's fine. If you think it was a slap in the face of the fans or towards the fans, I don't think that was the intent at all. So I will say, however, Rhino Hearn just having straight bagpipes is absolutely hilarious. We can talk about him Rhino Hearn just having bagpipes blast over the horrific speakers at Camden Yards.
So bad.
Is just incredible. I need the playoffs to be here. 9th inning, bases loaded, winning run at second, O'Hearn bagpipes blasting through that thing. Chills, Kevin. Chills. Also,
your walk-up song would definitely be the Yankees lose song.
I don't know if you saw, but I started out by playing the harmonica because I didn't know what to say.
I did not. That is electric and sad at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't know what to say, like, because like it just happened. So like I just
Have you learned any songs yet?
No, Kevin. I would have to put effort into that, and I'm not really doing that right now.
Well, that was beautiful.
Thank you. I kind of like easily slid it in there, kind of casual.
Yeah.
Just remind people slightly of. I wish I could play the bagpipes. Orioles win the World Series. I'll learn to play the bagpipes.
You said you'd learn to play the harmonica, and you haven't done it.
Kevin, you seem so hurt by that. Like that's
because I ask you every time. I'm like, I get so excited. I'm like, he's had the harmonica.
Your face and that you seemed like genuinely like upset. And
you said you're like, oh, I'm gonna learn to play the Orioles Magic and the Yankees Lose song, and you first got the harmonica. You're like, I'm so dedicated, and then you haven't done anything. Yeah, just.
I like the color brown. Do I have like brown?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. But I will, Kevin, for you, I'll learn. Maybe Orioles Magic on this will turn.
That's why they're losing. It's because you haven't learned the song. That's why they're losing. Yep. See, even Joe knows.
Yeah. This is a navy blue hat.
Yeah, that is a blue hat.
It's a navy blue hat. The other one is black, but it's very dirty, so sometimes it looks brown. So if you're thinking of that one, potentially.
I still haven't gotten my hat.
Kevin, I'm actually going to have to get you one.
Thank you.
If we come in with matching.
Dude, that'd be electric.
Oh, I do have, speaking of glasses, I do have brown glasses, though. So you did get that right. You got some.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is actually, I don't want to look this up because I don't feel bad.
Do you know when you bought it?
No. I got to put this down because I just randomly get the urge to play it.
Yeah. Well, long story short about the game, Heston goes 2 for 2 as a pinch hitter. Rivera, O'Hearn, Cowser are all the hitters. Pinch hitters. I mean, hey, Brandon Hyde, 3 hits from pinch hitters tonight. No, 4. Sorry. Forgot. Cowser did not start, so 4.
Yeah.
I guess if there's any solace, which there's not, but Brandon Hyde still kind of knows how to pinch hit.
I was going to say, he kind of, even in these atrocious losses, the man hits the right buttons with the pinch hitters.
Yeah, just
Can't
crazy.
keep getting away with this, Kevin. Oh, Yankees up 4-0. Oh, geez.
Huh?
I said Yankees up 4-0. Oh, geez.
4. Yeah. Albert Suarez goes 3 1/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. Keegan Aiken, 2 2/3. Rich Smith, 2 innings. Number 46 did some things, and then Matt Bowman had 1/3 of an inning. So, yeah.
Kevin, what if we were about to witness the greatest come up in sports history? I just kind of want to let me set the scene. Kevin,
I got flamed when I did this, by the way, so I expect equal flames for Zach.
It's Game 7 of the World Series. The Orioles have scratched and clawed their way. Game 7, 9th inning, Orioles up by 1. I take it back. It's the 15th inning of the World Series because remember, in the playoffs, they don't do runner on second to start. It's the 15th inning. The Orioles are up by 1. They are down to their last bullpen piece. They have to bring in Craig Kimbrel. And he strikes out the side, Kevin. He strikes out the side. Not only that, an immaculate inning. 9 strikes.
And then I woke up.
Chills, Kevin.
And then I woke up.
Chills, Kevin. Could you imagine the heart rate of sitting through Game 7 of the World Series and Craig Kimbrel's on the mound?
No. No. Absolutely not.
Kevin.
I thought you were going to go Batista for a second.
No.
It was going to be between one or the two.
I thought it was way funnier if it's Kimbrel.
It was. You 100% made the right decision.
Oh, also, I've accepted this is happening. Playoffs on the line. Cole Irvin comes in for the Twins. Throws a no.
Is he going to be starting for them or a bullpen guy?
I have no clue. This would be better biohack. This would be more realistic. He walks the first 3 batters and strikes out the side. Well, actually, when he walked the first batter, that batter stole second. He walked the next batter. They then double stole, and then they walked the third, and then he struck out the side.
Man.
I don't think we have to do much of a poll here, Aviator, but yes or no in the comments.
Well, while that's happening, I want to read off Prime's. Better yet, bottom of the 25th inning. Orioles down by 1. Bench exhausted. Craig Kimbrel has to pinch hit with 1 man on. It's a walk-off 2-run home run to clinch.
Wow.
God, this is what dreams are made of right here.
I'm getting hot in here. Make me feel a type of way.
My favorite part is bottom of the 25th inning.
I wonder what has happened in that game in the 25th. So
Orioles are 0 for 50 with runners in scoring position.
So fun fact, Kevin, I remember. So like the longest game in like baseball, like professional baseball history, was some minor league game that went to like 23 innings, I believe.
And they said there were more people at the end of the game than there were at the start. Like, meaning like it went on and like than there were at the beginning. Like people started coming because it was like, oh my God, this game is still going.
Yeah, I'm sure people just wanted to come in to witness the history.
Yeah.
I
think they said they started just letting I think they just let people like come in. It's minor league baseball. I think they started just letting tickets out.
Yeah.
So there was an Astros game that went 22 innings.
Recently?
Oh my God. Wait. So the Brooklyn Robins and the Boston Braves in 1920 went 26 innings. Okay, this is crazy. Oh, never mind. I misread that completely.
Yeah, I love these. Bottom of the 30th. It does the World Series of the bases loaded triple and opens the postseason interview by saying, "Hi, Mom."
Hi, Mom.
Let's just get bottom of the 50th inning. They'd have to come back and play the game the next day.
When do you think the ump calls it?
Just they give out they split the series trophy down the middle. They bring out a buzzsaw, just split it down the middle.
Like, we're done with this.
It's like we don't care anymore. They would. They'd have. I mean, Hyde would have to come in to pitch. They have to make a special exemption.
Do you think they just start like asking fans if they want to come in?
Oh, that'd be so good. Yes, I would. That needs to happen.
Kevin, they call your seat number.
That's exactly how they should do it. They should just have like a random raffle.
Kevin. All right, so this is how we'll end it. This is not about baseball at all. But I saw this question. It was actually a really good video by Barstool, like an interesting question. I want to get your opinion on it. How many you are the quarterback of the game, like of the team, like you physically, like you, how you are. You are the quarterback of a Super Bowl team. How many points, how big of a lead do you need at halftime to feel comfortable in holding on to the lead to win the Super Bowl?
Are we talking like NFL
Yeah.
football?
Mhm.
Like NFL size football?
Yep.
Because I'm saying if I got like a Nerf football,
That's not how.
put me in a deficit.
Give the other team some points. You're going to need them.
In the Super Bowl, give me 3 touchdowns. Give me 24. 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
Really, I'm going 35. I am only handing the ball off.
I know I'm not throwing the ball. Maybe into the flat.
That would be a great shirt. A deficit.
We still got to get the merch going, man. We have so many quotes.
I know. We really do. We've had a fantastic turnout tonight. Really appreciate everyone who's tuned in.
Yeah. Look, I get it. It's, this was the loss of all losses. This was the loss of all losses. So,
that was a tough one.
We'll still be here. We'll still be doing these. We don't know how many we have left. 11 regular season ones. But we're still after the Orioles season ends, whenever that may be. We'll still be putting out content. We go live here after every single Orioles and Ravens game. And what?
Kevin, I have
the stat for you. So apparently, according to Rob Daniels on Twitter, Rob, if you're watching, shout out you. The O's were 45-22. They are 39-45, which is a .464 win percentage since. 3 teams have made the playoffs with comparable win percentages over the final 95 games.
It's 2 World Series teams, isn't it?
All 3 have made the World Series and 2 have won it. Kevin, are you telling me there's a chance? Have the Orioles ever been this back?
This stream has just been me. This has been me just crashing out over the Orioles for 45 minutes, and you just every 10 minutes being like, the Orioles are so bad. Every 10 minutes. I've just been sitting here crashing out, and Zach, every 10 minutes is just like, has there ever been a team more back than the Orioles?
Man, I tell you, we're going to be so bad, and then it's just going to – yeah, so the team – actually, one of them is the Arizona Diamondbacks last year. They're the only team not to win it. So it's the 2023 Arizona Diamondbacks, the 2014 San Francisco Giants, and the 2006 St. Louis Cardinals. So the Cardinals and Giants both won. That's actually crazy that that's a stat.
All right, I'm gonna make my declaration right now. If the Orioles win the World Series, I will eat every single level of the spicy ramen in one stream consecutively with those spice levels. That is what I will say for that. And I guess I also did make the declaration a couple of streams ago that if the Orioles get swept, I also will eat just one level, the first level of spicy ramen. Although I'm still going back and forth between just the regular ramen to start it off or level 1 of spicy. I don't know if we start at 0 or 1.
You have to start 1.
I guess.
Kevin, we're so back.
You never would have even guessed what happened tonight. With the way that you're throwing out these stats, you never would have even known that the Orioles got blanked tonight.
10-0, not just blanked. 10-0.
They're what is it? Their second shutout in 4 games, 3 games.
So they've lost
4 games.
They have lost 4 of their last 5? Yeah, lost 4 of their last 5 again. I feel like that is I feel like that's pretty common these past.
They've been shut out in 3 of their last 8 games and have scored 1 or less run in 4 of their last 9 games. Or 5 of the last 11 if you want to go back before.
Yeah. And had them real quick. The stat was actually let me. Damn, I just lost it. But pretty much it was the Orioles are playing at 464 win percentage over their last, at this point, it's like 84 games. And the only 3 teams have played that poorly and made the playoffs that after playing that poorly in their final 95 games. And all 3 have somehow made the World Series and 2 have won it. So the only team to lose is actually last year's Diamondbacks. So maybe there is hope. I'm telling you, Kevin, it would be the funniest thing ever if this team just made a run.
It would be something. But right now, the Orioles played one of the games of all time. One of the games of all time.
It truly was. Well,
this is what we have. 0 words.
Just like the Orioles scored 0 runs. So that's going to do it for this episode of Kevin and Zach React. The Baltimore Orioles played baseball tonight.
Allegedly.
From what we're being told, they played baseball tonight. I'm not sure. Maybe someone wants to fact check that. Orioles played baseball tonight.
Yeah, there we go. They're going to go out shoving October. Just
boom. That's what's happening.
But yes, Sam, the Orioles did play a baseball game tonight.
Exactly, Sam. So, yeah, the Orioles played baseball night, or at least they attempted to. We'll be back at it tomorrow after the Orioles game. Orioles take on the Giants for game 2 of the series. Just find a way. Just find a way. I don't care how. I don't care if it's off 7 Giants errors. I don't care. Just find a way to win. I don't care if it's gifted. Just find a way to win. So we'll be back at it tomorrow. So we'll see you then, hoping for an Orioles win as always.